get into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Whole story change, no fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah. It's crime o'clock. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak. Word for word, no added spin. Let it stand, yeah, let that sink in. Screenshot save, timeline's tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say alleged, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. How are you all? Thanks for joining in today. I hope you're having a great day. Hey, Song of the Siren Jenna, Christy, Mountain Man, hello. Christina, Christy and Jen, Mike, the mods are here. Thank you, thank you. 12 Maxim, hello. Lady Speedwell. Morning, everybody. It's actually almost noon, but I got Ophelia on the screen. Ophelia is my porch goose, and I got her all decked out. We had like 90-degree weather yesterday. Woo, woo. I'm so happy. So I had to put her in her little swimming attire. Beachy porch goose. Yeah. So that's what I do. That's my little hobby. Carlos thinks I'm crazy. Yesterday I did 2 lives. Part 1 of Bethany's timeline. And I did end up finding all the timelines that I've made so far. So I will be taking screenshots of my handwritten notes for Bethany's timeline and adding them to all the other roommates' timelines that I did. And then on my second live yesterday, I showed the EWU, we now know, EWU hearing. If you did not watch that, oh my gosh, just everything we think about Moscow, double down. Like they did the same tactics, delay. And we got some new words out of that. Delay, because that's what they did yesterday. If you missed it, the arguments for that lawsuit will not be heard until August 5th. And Moscow's just winging it over here, you guys. Their prosecutor attorney that is representing the city of Moscow, he's like, yeah, quite frankly, Your Honor, I'm just like, I've had to wing it. So you thought Lana was gonna fly there and rock someone. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I did go over to I did want to see like her thoughts and comments about it. I didn't get to that part yet. But I saw the beginning where she was streaming DA, the devil's advocate. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so frustrating, but I'm telling you guys, I have faith in the attorneys representing EWU. I looked them up because I did send a letter to Christy Kennedy is the lawyer's name representing EWU. I looked up their law firm. I don't know if I can remember off the top of my head. Their practice is meant for what this is about, like representing businesses and things like that. There was more specific language of what they did. I'm like, oh, okay. Because EWU does not use the same attorneys for every single case because they have multiple ones going on all the time. And so they'll, hire attorneys in the place where the lawsuit's going to be happening. So for convenience and all of that. That's your birthday, Rose. Someone else in the chat. I think Moto. Do you and Moto have the same birthday? Hopefully it'll be a good birthday. Hopefully she is going to argue the what out of their case. I have faith, so I'm hopeful. Let me share. I will show you. So I ended up writing her a letter just because, I'm not a FOIA person over here on YouTube. I have mad respect for the people who are. But I'm also like, I don't know. I'm an outspoken person. I got a lot of I can have some attitude, and I'm like a justice warrior that I want to speak out about things. So I thought, let me reach out to her. I'm sure this is nothing new, and that's exactly how I started this out. But I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted because I've been making these statements about the YouTubers who have, I feel like, been getting taken advantage of. Even Carlos agrees with that, with the money, the fees that they're having to pay for these files that they're requesting. And I kept making comments about it. And I'm like, put your money where your mouth is, So I just wrote, I wanted to keep it like to the point, not get into like the weeds, just to the point, keep it short. That's it. I don't have any expectations. I just wanted to communicate. So I just said, hello, I'm writing to share additional FOIA information concerning Moscow, Idaho. You may already be aware that MPD has been charging and quoting an exorbitant amount of money for FOIA requests to YouTube creators. Some of the amounts have been in the thousands and most are hundreds of dollars. Another issue has been, why won't it open? Hold on. I got to be able to see the whole thing. I always do this on my phone. Oh, here, I got to click that. Hopefully. Why won't it show me the whole thing? I always do this on my phone, not on the, let's do this. I'll just read it to you. I won't show you, but I'll read it to you from my email. I know when you're on your phone, because I posted it as a picture. Sent. Oh, when you post it on your, when you go to post on your phone and there's a picture, if you click on it, it shows you the whole thing. Like if it's text. There we go. All right, sent. All right, hopefully I'm not sharing this. Yeah, okay. All right, here's the whole thing. You already may be aware that MPD has been charging and quoting an exorbitant amount of money for FOIA requests to YouTube creators. Some of the amounts have been in thousands and most are hundreds of dollars. Another issue with MPD has been the over-redacting of documents and silencing of video segments. And then in parentheses, I put like the light bulb camera. There are even interviews and other types of materials that have been FOIA'd, and the requester was just told no. I'm just a small YouTube creator that has been appalled by this and felt compelled to reach out to you after watching the hearing today. I know there is an intervener in this case, and I'm wondering if there's something similar to that for other independent media channels to support the cause for EWU Media LLC. And I just said, thank you for your time. And I sent it from my personal email and signed my name. I did tailor my YouTube channel though. Hey girl. Just being funny. Just being funny. Hey Becca. Hey Witchy. The other thing, Lady Speedwell says, it is so important to speak up for justice. Yes, if we are able to, right? If we're able to. Every little bit helps. Every voice matters. Yep. You know, and I always, sometimes there's things locally around here I want to speak up about. And I always try to be cautious. Like, sometimes I want to speak up about things that might be related to other people that I love and care about. And so you don't want to like burn bridges or like poke the bear. So I got to like choke it down, you know? I'm good at that. I say, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little off track, but it's okay. Let's just have a little conversation. I worked the polls for election day, and a guy, an old white man, came up to the table and he made some comments about like political affiliations and things like that. And I'm not going to get into politics, but I really loved what he was saying. I'll just leave it at that. And you're not allowed to like make comments or engage in conversation or anything like that when you're working the polls. And I looked at the lady who was in charge and I'm like, I just bit my tongue off. I want you to know. Because I wanted to be like, yeah. Oh my gosh. They should only redact names and personal identifying information. Absolutely. You guys, last night I was just like, I was scrolling and, you know, this one video, it's super popular. I don't know the case. I can't remember the case, but it came across my feed again and I clicked it, and it's that little, let me know if you've seen it. It's that little 7-year-old boy who has to get on the stand and testify because his sister was drowned and his mom was on trial, and it's not redacted. His face is not blurred. He had to answer all the questions. They didn't redact or blur out or bleep anything. And I was trying to look, I'm like, what state is this in? You know? But again, yeah, that was a horrific case. I felt so bad for that. Now that I thought was the other extreme. I'm like, oh my gosh, they should have done more to like protect that kid. Like, I didn't think that kid needed to be live on the stand. They should have done it like in video or whatever. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. But my point is, he's a 7-year-old. He's a 7-year-old in some state somewhere, and that was allowed. But like, we can't get Maisie and Hunter's interviews. Like, come on. That stuff bothers me. Okay, so I want to get through some other information pertaining to Bethany today. Yesterday, I went through her whole timeline. We came up with, let me see, in case you missed it yesterday, some points of interest in her timeline were that I think one of the biggest ones was at 12:03 a.m. Bethany took a photo in an unknown location at a party. So they know it was a party. It's an unknown location of a girl. So, if we could see that photo, we would find out where it was, who the girl was. So that's a huge, there's so many of these things that they leave vague. And I think we're finding out that they know what it is. They're just not putting it in here. I have questions about everybody going to Allie's house, especially at night, because the times, to me, especially like with Xana, it seemed like she was going to Allie's and then going back to Sigma Chi and then going to Allie's. I don't know. Those things didn't add up. So as those things come out, I will be addressing that more in the future. I just got to find more information about it. Hey, Jessie Lux. Thank you. It's hot and sunny around here. So I'm going to be like easy, get my hair out of my face, hairdos, so I can go outside right after. The only thing is I usually don't wear any makeup in the summertime. Like I'm just go outside, hang out, get some sunshine, work in my garden, walk. I'm always outside. So no makeup for me, but I'm not coming on here without makeup. So now I got to wake up, do makeup, and then I'll have to go scrub it off when I go outside. Although when I used to do my walk and talks, if any of you guys have been around here for that, I have older videos where I would go live when I'm just walking and just like talk about true crime and stuff. And I was like, au natural when I did that. That's funny. Lana's was insane. She was so furious. Oh, I'm going to go back and watch that. Oh, and speaking of Lana, huge shout out to her because I put in a FOIA request for Brent Turvey's official report. And I realized this, like it's an official report from an expert. So it's not a Moscow PD document. It's from the defense attorney. So it's like, and shout out to her. She left me a comment because I put it in through MPD, which I'm hoping that MPD would just say, hey, this office doesn't do this. You need to request it through this office. But Lana left me a comment and said, hey, you got to send that to the prosecutor's office. Oh my God. That website is so it's not user friendly. Like they don't want you to communicate with them. It took me forever to find an email. And then when I found the email, it didn't work. So I'm like, that's the only email I can find. Like, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send it to like the clerk. I think the clerk could figure it out. Or maybe I'll just call and say, hey, where do I send this? Like, I'm done. I'm like, the nerves about doing this kind of stuff is like, I don't care. Tell me no. Tell me to F off. I don't care. You're at 92. Nice. She is such a team player. We all have to be, Yeah, I love her. It's in Linda Lane. What are we talking about? All right. Okay, so let's start with this. So I'm going to start with some articles that are from a long time ago about Bethany. Most of them are about when the defense wanted to interview her, right? So we're going to start with Court TV. Where are we at here? It's not that one. Oh, maybe it is. Yes, it is. Okay, let's share this. Add it. Okay. We're not signing up for anything. I'm trying to cut back on my spending over here. So Court TV, this is their website. Of course, they have a video, but we're not watching that. And this says surviving roommate fights subpoena to testify at Koberger hearing. And that is, oh, maybe we should watch that. How long is it? 7 minutes. Okay, we'll see. Let me read this. This is from April 26th, 2023. Okay. So remember, Brian's arrested January 2023. And I believe the preliminary hearing was supposed to be June. So this is before that. And it says Reno, Nevada. One of the two roommates who survived a quadruple murder inside an Idaho home is fighting a request from the defendant to appear at the preliminary hearing on his behalf. On his behalf. Is fighting a request. Oh, the defendant. Gotcha. Brian Kober goes over the charges. Okay. And then it just says Bethany Funke is one of the two people who were inside the home at the time of the killings. Remember, we were trying to, in my live yesterday, or mine or Dago's, I don't know. We were talking about that one reporter who always said the killings and survived. Documents filed in Nevada and obtained by Court TV show that Koberger's defense attorney filed a subpoena requiring Funke to testify. I can't keep saying that. I just got to say Funk. To testify at the June 26th preliminary hearing. So the preliminary hearing was supposed to be June 26th. And I'm going to pull the affidavit up right after this. And I don't know if it's the affidavit. It's a court document about this. The affidavit included with the subpoena is from a private investigator hired by Koberger's defense team who said Bethany Funke was present at the home. This language is confusing to me, and I'm going to point it out somewhere else too. 8 hours later. I'm pretty sure other people have probably talked about this language. I'm trying to make it bigger, see if you guys can see it. Get off. Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later. Like, it doesn't say Bethany Funke was present at the home all night. Bethany Funke was present at the home during the time of the murders. See, we keep saying words matter. Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called. So does that mean she wasn't present at the home before that? This is how I'm going to read into this stuff because something's going on here. See what you guys think. That's saying she's not there. Then it seems like she is. It would be better for her not to have been there, but she doesn't act. She acts like she was there all night. That's so interesting. I'm just looking at your comments real quick. 1 second. Okay. 8 hours later. Good book title. Yes, Tony. Yep. 8-hour delay. That'd be another one. 8 hours later. Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called. Arrived on scene and discovered the homicides. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information, material to the charges against Mr. Koberger. Portions of information Miss Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Okay. This statement is made many times by many different news outlets, many different people. Okay. Miss Funk's information is unique to her experiences. It cannot be provided by another witness. So I know everybody has covered this and read it and talked about it and all that stuff. I'm covering Bethany, and this is information that is very important about Bethany, that the defense is claiming it's material information. To me, I don't know. I have to look that up. It's like evidence. Is it hard evidence? Miss Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. So it has to be when she's down in her room alone. If she's not with Dylan, when she's not with Dylan, because then they would be experiencing the same thing together. And I have found some things today, and Rolo was in here yesterday, and I was watching his video that he said he made, that he shows some video. He's using the Linda Lane video to show that Bethany, Kai, Dylan, and Jack Showalter might be out and about. So that was interesting. Okay, you guys. I'm filling my pool up with water and I don't want it to overflow. And I set my Alexa alarm and it's going off. So I need like 1 minute to go run and shut the hose off if I need to. So can you guys bear with me for like a minute? I swear it won't take that long. I'm going to run. So I will come back and I'll read your comments while you chat for a second, but I will be right back. Oops. All right. Sorry about that. Water timers are an amazing $15. I need all the tips and tricks, Mike. I need all the tips and tricks. Oh, yes. We worked long and hard to save up to get this pool. We started off with just a little kitty blow-up pool. I will do anything. When we didn't have a pool, I bought one of those big, long, like, $20 blow-up pools, and I would just put it like in the driveway and go lay in it. I don't care as long as it's water. Okay, so back to Bethany. Thank you, you guys, for not leaving me. Okay, so here's what the attorney says. An attorney representing Funk filed a motion to quash the subpoena. arguing that the statements are conclusory, without support, and there's no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of the testimony, its materiality, or the alleged, they're saying alleged, exculpatory information of Ms. Funk, or why it would be entertained at a preliminary hearing. So this could just be that Bethany doesn't want to go back to Moscow, Idaho. Okay, let us come to you and interview you. She doesn't want to do that. And that is where I think the tipping point was for a lot of us. Everybody, I feel, on social media, most people were very careful about being respectful, super respectful to Bethany and Dylan. And I feel like now we are now that information's been coming out, I think after it was verified that they weren't sleeping all night, we were all like gloves off. Would you agree with that? Do you think that was like the tipping point for everybody to feel a little bit more comfortable to be critical of Bethany and Dylan when we found out there was no frozen shock phase and they weren't sleeping all night, right? To me, I was like, I'm done. And so now, why don't you want to speak to help your friends, one of your best friends who was like a sister, Maddie, you said, solve the case? Why aren't you willing to just talk and give all the information you know? What are you hiding? What are you hiding? Michelle, what do we got going on over here? A membership. Let me see who got that membership. Thanks, Michelle. You're on a roll. That's like 2 days in a row. I appreciate you. Welcome to the green team. Whoops. Let me see. Another unique peep. A unique peep. Mountain Man. All right. You are green. Thank you, Michelle. That's awesome. Gloves are off for those two. Yep. That's right. Oh, that's awesome. Good, good, good. She wasn't required. I do believe she went. I do believe she had to go to the grand jury. I think I have an article about that. So, yeah, I think she went for the prosecution, but I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it. I have a bunch of articles here. We'll figure it out. What was the other thing in here that I wanted to talk about? Oh, when they say that her statements are conclusory, basically her attorney is saying she made a statement. She told you what she knows. There's nothing more that she's going to tell you to add to it. So just take what you got and you're not going to get anything else. That's how that's what, it's a conclusion. Like her statement is final. And then he goes on to say that Nevada statutes require a hearing before a resident can be subpoenaed out of state. So I went to go look at the next one. We're going to look at the court doc. This will all come together. So I think I can make this bigger. Yeah. Are you seeing it? Yes, you are. Oops. Okay. So is there a date on this? This is the certificate of an Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness. So this is Idaho versus Brian. This is Megan Marshall. So the judge that we saw yesterday for the EWU hearing, same judge. Okay. She's the judge for the 2nd Judicial District of the state of Idaho. She says Bethany Funke may be a material witness for the defendant in this case. For the defendant. For the reasons stated in the affidavit of Richard Batanti. So Batanti is the private investigator hired by the defense, I believe. And he says the presence of Bethany Funke is required at the Latah County Courthouse at 8 a.m. on June 28th, 2023. Under the laws, if Bethany Funke comes into this state in obedience of a summons requiring her presence, she will not be subject to. It is crazy they had to put this in here, you guys. Under the laws of the state of Idaho, if Bethany Funke comes into this state in obedience of a summons requiring her presence at this hearing, she will not be subject to arrest or service of any process relating to matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. This is crazy. She's afraid of getting arrested. And I know I watched Logan's live yesterday. She's also talking about Bethany on Bronx Tales, you guys. And she was saying that, don't lose your train of thought, Kim. It was about Bethany. Oh, with Bethany not wanting to come back to the state of Moscow and the fear of being arrested, and how when she, on the day of the murders, like the next morning after the 911 call, they all go to the police station and Bethany sits down for her first interview. And the first thing she says is, "Can I still go home for Thanksgiving?" Could be interpreted like, am I getting out of here? Am I getting arrested? Right? I know Logan, I think, was mentioning that. Yeah, it seems like that. If she has the monster, if they have the monster under arrest, what is she scared of? Yeah. Definitely. I could see being like triggered by being back there. Like, I understand that trauma is a real thing, and places, smells, sights, words, anything can be triggering to a trauma response. I get that. But to be afraid of being arrested. They're not saying it's because of trauma. They're saying it's because she won't be arrested. Oh my gosh. Hey, open your eyes. It can also be interpreted as, I want my mommy. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I don't know. Words are words. I don't know. How did LE accept from DM and BF not hearing the roommates and not calling 911 for 8 hours? That is troubling all around. Yes, it is. Yeah, I always thought maybe she's just scared of the real perpetrators. So we all think it's not Brian Koberger. So then the real perpetrators are out there and she's scared of them. Now that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so then this is what I think is telling. So we have to look into these things. So this is Richard Batanti. It's his affidavit in support of a motion for out-of-state service. Okay. He deposes and says that he's a criminal investigator hired by the defense to assist in the representation of Brian Koberger. I was asked, let me see. Oops, let me scooch that there. See if you guys can see it better. I was asked by appointed counsel Ann C. Taylor to investigate the alleged incident. Brian is charged with 4 counts. We know that. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining room, and living room on the middle floor. Mr. Koberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping, you guys. But then he says present. So he knows they weren't sleeping. They weren't sleeping. They were present. Some of them might have been sleeping. Some of them were present. Killing 4 people in 2 separate rooms. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. Bethany Funke's bedroom was on the 1st floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. Bethany Funke was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. And this is what the defense says over and over. Bethany heard things and saw things. And the only thing that she has said is the firework and the beer pong table. But I think there's more. There are many things in this case that our gut instinct told us there's more to this. And we were told we were crazy, and then we find out there was actually more to it, right? For instance, when they said, oh, they were sleeping the whole time, we were like, no, I don't think they were. And then lo and behold, the text messages come out and the interviews come out, and we find out they indeed were not sleeping the whole time. So Bethany Funke, here's that statement again. How many times are we going to see this statement? Bethany Funke was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. They keep wording it that way. They're making sure to word it that way. It's like it's just enough to hint at an implication, like they're implying something about, they're implying she wasn't there the whole night. They're implying she was there 8 hours later. But they're giving just enough of an out, because you can be present 8 hours later and be there the whole night. That can be true. Or you could not be there all night, but you show up 8 hours later. Carlos always says they give themselves an out. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Koberger. Portions of information Miss Funke has is exculpatory. I mean, he's flat out saying it. He's not saying it might be exculpatory. He's saying it is exculpatory to the defendant. Miss Funke's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. So I think she saw different people. If you watch Rollo's video about this, that he posted it yesterday, he is looking at the Linda Lane camera and saying that he thinks that Bethany would be with Kai Davis. Kai Davis is at the grub truck. His car looks like suspect vehicle number 1. I agree with that. Jack Showalter lives right next door at the Queen Apartments. Was Bethany with Kai all night? Does Bethany know who really did it? Lots of questions. You guys are dropping some information. Hey, G Bean, Courtroom Insider just posted something about Kaylee's half-sister, Samantha, and messages receiving about Kaylee's injuries. Okay. It means she left the house at 4 a.m. Another thing that Rollo was showing in his video, remember the runners behind that's the one thing that So the actual body cam footage of the Banfield boys and then catching the runners behind the car. I mean, those are the two things that I clearly believe and clearly see. And there's nothing like having to look through a mirror at a reflection or anything like that. So to me, that's pretty legit. And the time frame of that and the original rumor, remember the original rumor that Kaylee got shot up at a party. And Rollo shows lots of sounds from the Linda Lane footage and people yelling, saying names, things like that. Like I hear all that stuff. Like it is clear. It doesn't sound like, making words up. But it sounds like it could be maybe I think there was a party at that house, that there was a party at the house. And if whoever did this crime comes in, just a theory that I think of because someone literally said it right at the beginning, right? Kaylee was shot up at a party or shot at a party. Party was shot up. Everybody flees. Everybody flees. I think that's kind of what those sounds what that might sound like, the sounds on the video. And then those runners, like everybody's running away. I don't know. That's just my thought because Bethany saw a firework or heard a firework and it's never a firework. Michelle, who do you think is not Kai? I know that other people think at the grub truck it is, who did they think it was? Because Rollo did mention that. He did mention that. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying different people have said different things. And Rollo is saying that it's Kai in the he has like a long sleeve black shirt on and a basketball jersey and gets in the white car. And Christopher Whitcomb did say, I think it was him, said pay attention to the grub truck video. Pay attention to the grub truck video. We don't hear a gunshot on the cameras, though. That's true. But I also think there are times, Mountain Man, that we can't hear anything on those cameras because they won't let us hear. They won't let us hear anything at certain times. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not saying anything I am saying is true. Hey, Karmic. Good to see you. I'm looking at what you guys are saying. There's been some weird glitches too in chat. Okay. All right. I think that was the list of this one. Yep. Okay. So here's one more article that I have, and then I'm going to show some of Bethany's interview clips and talk about some of the things that she has said. So not all of the information that's going to be coming up is about Bethany, but it's what Bethany said, possibly about other people, the circumstances that night, things like that. Okay. So this article is about Bethany Funke's attorneys have filed to quash a subpoena saying she has no exculpatory information. So now they're saying, no, she doesn't. What happened here? We don't want to resort. We're not. I would love to go to the Outer Banks with you guys, but we're not doing that. What just happened? Here we go. Bethany Funke's attorneys. Okay, I read that. One of the two surviving housemates at the off-campus residence of 4 slain University of Idaho students has asked a judge to reject a subpoena for her to testify at suspect Brian Koberger's preliminary hearing in June. Can I get this off of here? Koberger, 28, is charged. We know about the charges. We know he was a graduate student. So an affidavit filed in March by the defense says that Funke was in a first floor bedroom of the house where the students lived during the murders and was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. And that comes from the affidavit by Richard Batanti. Bethany Funke has information material to the charges against Mr. Koberger. Portions of information Ms. Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant. Ms. Funke's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. I cannot believe, think about the legal ramifications. I'm curious about this. You have, isn't that called a hostile witness, you guys? Bethany is a hostile witness, and that means they are not cooperating. I'm going to look up how that works. An attorney for Bethany Funke filed a motion to quash the subpoena on Friday in Washoe County, Nevada, where she lives, saying the statements in Batanti's affidavit are without support and there is no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of this testimony. Its materiality or the alleged exculpatory information of Ms. Funke or why it would be entertained at preliminary hearing. What? So they're saying that Mr. Batanti does not have support for what he's saying, and that there's no further information that Bethany could give. And they're saying that Batanti is not explaining how it's exculpatory. I just think they don't want the details out. I don't think, they don't have to let the prosecution know every single thing that they're thinking, right? They can say, no, I am not near the Outer Banks. Did you guys see my screen? Something happened and an ad popped up, and the ad was for going to the Outer Banks. It was for a resort or something. I was like, what is this? I would love to go with you guys, but no. That's funny. If there was a gunshot that night, I'm pretty sure Kane Franchetic might have mentioned it to me in one of our numbers. I don't know about that. Oh, they 1000% know where Bethany was the whole night. They know where Dylan was the whole night. They know where Xana and Ethan were the whole night. They know. And maybe we wouldn't be suspicious about gunshots if they would let us hear all the footage. Let us hear all the footage. Karmic, you looked into it last night. All right, I will check that out. I kind of thought that there's no, we haven't seen any evidence of gunshots or bullet holes or anything like that. So, but we also haven't seen the medical examiner's report. But they did show us all the rooms and the crime scene photos and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't see evidence of that. So I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying it's never fireworks. That's all I'm saying. It's never fireworks. Oh, but the only other thing I thought was they were trying to get into what if they were trying to get into that closet on the first floor that had the lock? And if they were using some kind of tool that would cause sparks and noise and stuff like that, but then there's no damage to it. So don't think it could be that. So I don't know what it is. Why did Christy's niece tell her that Kaylee got shot at a party? Why did that rumor even get started? So can't say it's like that's not a wild conspiracy theory. It is based on things that have been said and stuff like that. But I do acknowledge that, not a lot of evidence for that. The front door didn't really have damage. I did, oh my God, a long time ago when we were looking at the crime scene photos, I did pull up a image of the not the hinged side that attaches to the wall, but the part that opens with the bolt, with the lock. And I mean, there's scrapings. It's not pristine condition. It kind of looks like someone was trying to like jimmy stuff, but I don't know. I don't think they needed to break in. I think they were let in, or they need the code or something like that, or the back door was unlocked. Who knows? Okay. So the motion further says that there's no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness to Idaho for preliminary hearing. There's no authority? You guys, think about this. Let's compare. Brian Kohberger gets arrested in Pennsylvania and he waives his extradition rights and he's like, send me back to Idaho. I'm facing the charges. And then we've got Bethany, who's in Nevada, and she's like, nope, I'm not going. I'm not going to go share information that I know about the murder of my roommates. Nope. And you can't make me. That's facts. Neither Funke's attorneys or Kohberger's public defender commented. Latah County Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall issued a gag order in January barring lawyers, police, and other officials connected with the case from making statements. And do you know who that benefited? It benefited the prosecution because the defense stayed silent. They didn't leak anything. And then, I don't know, the prosecution, they made all kinds of statements. The police were making comments, and mainstream media was just running away with negative stuff. It's not clear when the Washoe County judge will make a decision. Funke and Dylan Mortensen were left unharmed. This is interesting. News Nation reported, you guys, citing a single anonymous source, that Funke never even saw the carnage on the floors above her after the murders. In the book, Broken Plea, Bethany does say that she saw, after she follows Hunter upstairs when Hunter gets there in the morning, and she sees, she describes Bethany or Xana in underwear. Like, she describes the same thing Dylan says, which is a little weird. She says it exactly the same way. All right. So that's what happened with Bethany when it came to having to go. She doesn't want to help the defendant. Is that it? I don't want to help the defendant. You would be interested in Birdie's Live last night. The MPD was reenacting cars and stuff. It's crazy. Oh, when they were doing like their what did they call it? Their timing when they were trying to time out how the cars. Karmic, I'm going to check out your video about the gunshots so you can give me evidence to show me which way to think. That'll be great. Yeah, I love Birdie. I will go back and check that out. Oh, you guys are talking about the show Outer Banks. Fun fact, my best friend that I grew up with, her niece and nephew, they vacation there all the time, and they were used as extras in the show. So that was pretty cool. No one questioned the two different accounts from Hunter Johnson and Dylan Mortensen of Xana's door and why they both left out the word, what? Let me see. Oh, the blood. Yeah, not seeing the blood. Mm-hmm. Birdie has new light bulb camera footage. I think that's the date, December 20th. From December. All right. Oh, the test run. Yeah. The test run. Yeah. I think it's Lana that's onto those cars, right? And then Rolo was also talking about that yesterday. The footage that Birdie has is really clear. All right. The reenactment videos. All right, you guys. Okay, so let's look at what Bethany had to say. Gotta find my clips. Find my clips. We're done with Ophelia. There we go. Okay, let's start with. Oh, I talked about this yesterday. Okay, all of these video clips are from Plunder's. She's the one who got the FOIA for this. And I think this is the November 16th interview from Bethany. So yesterday, when I was going through Bethany's timeline, one of the things it said, let me look. It's right here. She said about the Find My Friends. I can't remember where I brought that up at. Let me look. Oh, every time that she says like that she doesn't know where someone was, or talking about Ethan and Xana and not knowing where they were, Bethany said in her interview that she used Find My Friends at, that's what it was, 11 a.m. First thing on Bethany's timeline. She wakes up, she goes upstairs to the living room, she sees Ethan, and she checks Find My Friends to see where Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana are. They were the ones that were out, and Dylan. They were the ones that were out of the house. And she uses Find My Friends. So she knows exactly. If she can do it for that, then she can do it all night. All night.
Was there. And then I tracked them and they were doing comics.
You know what?
I tracked them and they were at Taco Bell, so I guess.
Did you track them? So you had, was that like through an app that you had?
Yeah. Find My Friends.
Okay. Does that log when you track them? Okay. You said Ethan was there though?
Mm-hmm.
And where was Ethan at?
He was just sitting on the couch.
Okay. So what did let's kind of now go through the rest of your day.
All right, so more details that come out. That's why I keep saying they know where everybody was. They know where everybody was. They have their phones, they have their cars. The phones have apps on them that are locating people, so they know. Yeah, I use Find My Friends. I have Find My Friends, and my husband can be in a different state, and it will show me like in a circle area of where he's at. You can blow it up. You can get more specific. You can see the buildings. Like if he has to travel for work, like I can see the hotel. Like it'll put the little dot like on the hotel, in the hotel. Like it's crazy. If he's driving or my daughter's driving, you can see them moving on the road. Like, yeah, it's very specific. It's very specific. You guys, why does it show me this? Like the code for an image. Why does it do that? That's so weird. Oh, maybe because I just can't see the... Oh, look at that. Michelle. Let me go back. Let me find that. Thanks, Michelle. I just saw your super chat. Let me find that and pull it up. You said something about miles. Is that when we were talking about the grub truck? No worries. We will go back. I was looking away at the article. All right, Michelle. Miles, look at the smile. He is also 3:20 a.m. guy. Oh. Is 3:20 a.m. guy at the dumpster walking towards the house? I do not dismiss those guys, those dumpster guys. And I don't think it's the same guys. I think the one that's at the dumpster walking towards the house earlier is different than the guy that gets picked up at like 5:30 in the morning or whatever time it is. I haven't looked at those in a super long time, so I forget the times, but the 5 something in the morning guy looks like a black man to me. The earlier time guy looks like a white guy to me. But Michelle, if you're still here, let me know about Miles. And I will jot that down and see who that is. Let me know in the chat. I'm going back up to see if you guys responded to her. You've studied him for 2 weeks. I'm looking back. I'm getting some context here, you guys. Oh, you say that's not Kai. Okay, I gotcha. So you're saying it's not Kai, it's Miles. And you said, look at his smile. Okay. I'm not saying anybody is like, I have never done, like, I don't look at the videos and try to like pretend to identify people. That's just not my thing. You can't remember his last name. Okay. Yeah, let me know. That's interesting. All right. Mods, if a like a super chat or super sticker or anything goes by and I don't see it, please like put some exclamation points or something so I can go back. Because if I'm looking at a different tab, I don't see them. And I hate that. It would be nice if StreamYard like did like a sound. StreamYard, do a sound when something comes along. That would be great. All right, I got more clips. Let's see the order that would make sense. Oh, here's another big one. So, how many of you think that
Has never figured out what happened.
Oops.
Was Murphy still in the house when you guys got there?
How many of you think Kaylee was moved out? Like actually moved out? Anyone think? I don't think she was. I don't think she was. And Miss Bethany here is, I think, going to prove Kaylee. Well, if it's hard because I feel like, do we pick and choose what we want to believe that Bethany says? Do we either not believe anything she says, or do we believe everything she says? I think we believe everything she says. And then whenever we find a contradiction or something that nullifies what she says, then we do that. Okay. So she's saying Kaylee's not moved out yet. And so listen to this.
Has never figured out what happened. Was Murphy still in the house when you guys got there?
Yeah. I actually do not know.
Or was he locked up in his cage up in
If that
Kaylee's room?
was, Kaylee went home for the weekend, that weekend.
Okay, so she would
So
she have
they
taken
were
the
not
dog
there.
with her?
I don't remember if she took him or if she gave him for the weekend.
Okay, all right.
And so you said add an Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
Any other?
Kaylee went home for the weekend. And that was parents' weekend. So Kaylee does not want to be at the University of Idaho in her house, or maybe there's a reason she had to leave. But she goes home for the weekend, November 4th. The weekend, 4th, 5th, 6th. You can only go home for the weekend if you're living there. And Dago and I went through Kaylee's room and we're like, that's not someone who's moved out. Like her jewelry is still on her dresser.
Yeah. I actually do not know.
Or was he locked up in his cage up in
If that
Kaylee's room?
was, Kaylee went home for the weekend, that weekend.
Okay, so she would
So
she have
they
taken
were
the
not
dog
there.
with her?
I don't remember if she took him or if she gave him for the weekend.
Okay, all right.
And so you said add an Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
Any other home automation stuff?
Okay, now this part is about the Alexa, and this is about Dylan having an Alexa. And I didn't hear anybody talk about this until after the book came out. And then I saw it in the book, and then it came up in this interview.
Ring doorbell,
Mm-mm.
no other video cameras. Somebody had to keep an eye on the dog during the day.
Mm-mm. Because one of us was usually home at some point.
So let's back up. What does she say about the Alexa?
And so you said add an Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
Any other home automation stuff? Ring doorbell.
Mm-mm.
So we're not allowed to know that Dylan had an Alexa. This is one of EWU, Miss Kennedy, if you're listening. This is the type of redaction that I don't think is justified. What harm is there in knowing that Dylan had an Alexa? It doesn't have to implicate her. It doesn't have to be something negative about her. It's something that could be helpful to the crime. And I don't understand why they think the Alexa would record the event, because that statement was made in the book that possibly the Alexa, if there was one in Dylan's room, it could have recorded everything all night. That's a little AI conspiracy. Oh my gosh, I don't think I want to know that. When, I was talking about this with Carlos and he's like, well, they're always listening, right? When you have a conversation and then all of a sudden you start getting ads about that. So is that what they mean? Like the FBI would be able to like get that information? Did they? Because she said Dylan had an Alexa. I don't think that should be redacted. Let's go back to that point. Dylan's name should not be redacted. But we don't see it anywhere. I don't believe it's on the evidence list. We haven't seen any information from that.
Other video cameras that somebody had to keep an eye on the dog during the day.
Because one of us was usually home at some point.
All right. And thank you, Karmic Retribution, you guys. Mods, I don't know. She was testing you and no one alerted me. We're going to have a meeting. Thank you, Karmic. That was funny and generous. I appreciate you. I had my eyes on the chat, so I did see it right away though, but thank you. Hey, Kane.
Clock it. So I gotta say thank you. Clock it.
I love little humor like that. The books? Did you mean the Muppet Papers? I've been living in my own private Idaho underground like a wild potato. Kane, did you see? I should keep it ready at hand. I showed a video where they have an Airbnb and it's a potato out in Idaho. It's a giant potato that they turned into like a little Airbnb that you can sleep in. And I said, if I ever go out there, I'm sleeping in the potato. There was a case that they used Alexa to find out who unalive someone. Oh my gosh. Lake Girl, hello and welcome. And if you guys are new to my channel, I was on a roll for a while before a lot of the documents and interviews and FOIA information started coming out. There wasn't new information about the Idaho 4 case. So what I was doing is I was finding comparable cases, something about a different case that was related to the Koberger case. So I'm going to look that up. So a case so how does that work? Alexa. All right. I love that. Thank you for sharing that or pointing that out. All right. So that was Bethany spilling some tea on Kaylee not being moved out and Dylan having the Alexa. Here's something about the spare room.
So I know you said no one slept or was using that other downstairs room across from you, but we found mail in there.
You found what?
Mail.
Oh, sometimes I think maybe they put mail in there. I don't know.
You guys just put a word or two in the chat. What was her reaction like? Describe her reaction.
So I know you said no one slept or was using that other downstairs room across from you, but we found mail in there.
You found what?
Mail.
Oh, sometimes I think maybe they put mail in there. I don't know.
Mail. She probably thought they said meth. You found what? You found what? You're not supposed to find anything in there. Shocked. Yep. You found what? Oh my gosh. You found what? Oh my gosh. One more time.
So I know you said no one slept or was using that other downstairs room across from you, but we found mail in there.
You found what?
Mail?
Oh, sometimes I think
That sounds like someone who's nervous. Like if you have nothing that concerns you, I don't know. I guess it could be nerves just about the case, so I'm not going to go in too hard. Oh, they forgot a lot of stuff, G Bean. They forgot a lot of stuff. A mail. What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's right. You bring the mail. Like, if I'm going upstairs, there'd be like a pile of mail, like in the living room or somewhere in the kitchen or something like that. Yeah. All I'm going to say is Sophia Whitehead. Sophia Whitehead. Why would you put mail in a room that no one goes into? Like, no one goes into that room except I have another clip. I'll play it next. And she's going to talk about Maddie and Kaylee's jobs. But this is curious. Mail in, and do we have that as exhibits? I don't remember seeing mail in the crime scene photos. Do you guys remember seeing mail in the crime scene photos? Ashlyn Couch moves out in May of 2022, but a new 1112 King Road rental agreement on June 5th. Leaving behind an unoccupied room. Quite suspicious. I don't know. And I know Lana covered like the leasing of that house and all that stuff in depth in the past. In Howard Bloom's book, he says it was Ashlyn Couch, exactly what you are saying. Carl Thomas, hello. Yeah, that's the information that we had was about Ashlyn Couch, and like she went to go live with her boyfriend at the last minute. But something else was going on. I can't remember where I read it. It might be in the book Broken Plea. The person who lived in the room that Kaylee was living in, the sliding door upstairs bedroom, balcony room, lived there the year before with Maddie. This was my understanding. They thought they weren't going to come back. And so Kaylee said, can I move into that room? Because Kaylee over the summer was in Xana's room over the summer. So Kaylee says, can I move up to the upstairs balcony room? And the girl says, yes. And then I think the girl is like, I'm going to stay there now. So that's my, I got to go back and see if that was in the book where I heard that from, because Sophia Whitehead lives in Boise. It's in the book. Thank you, G Beans. In the book. The mail is in the evidence pictures. All right. So okay. I will find a picture of that. If anybody has that photo and wants to share it with me in Discord, I could show it. If not, I will find it for tomorrow. All right, I have a few more clips from information that Bethany is giving us. I didn't finish this one. We were so stuck on, you found what?
they put mail in there. I don't know.
Do you know it?
And then he's like, do you know what that is? She's like, I don't know. Maybe someone just puts mail in there.
Yeah, she is still live there.
She used to.
Mm-hmm.
When did she move out?
Last year.
Last year. Is she still in the area?
No, she lived in and then moved to. Maddie used to do a lot of work in there, and she would
Is that
always
why
get the
there was a
mail.
computer there?
Yeah,
Okay.
and she used to get the mail, so maybe she just put it in there.
Okay. He said,
Okay, that's a logical explanation. Maddie's the one who would get the mail. Maddie did a lot of work in there. To me, that did not look like an office workspace unless you like sprawl out on the bed with a laptop. If you're having meetings online, you're not going to be laying down on a bed, in my opinion. The desk that they had in there didn't look like a really great. It looked more of like a hutch type desk, not like a work on your computer type desk. I don't know. That's just me. But it does make sense that Maddie would be the one. Kaylee has a lot of things to take care of.
Maddie was the one that was doing a lot of work in there.
Maddie and Kaylee both did work in there, but mainly Maddie.
Okay.
See, that's interesting to me. Maddie and Kaylee both did work in there, but mainly Maddie. Kaylee's job was all online. I do think, though, Kaylee had more of a work area probably in her bedroom upstairs. Maddie's room, her bedroom was smaller. No room to do like office work, I don't think. Her desk was for makeup and getting ready in her bedroom. So that does make sense for regular work. There's questions, though, about Maddie making content, right? Social media content, probably using that room for that.
Do you know whose computer that was there in there then?
Weren't there like two? One by the.
No, so the one behind the door was just a monitor. And then as you walk in the door to the right, there was actually a computer.
That's
a smaller
all Maddie's.
computer.
So Bethany just said, weren't there two computers in there? I mean, then the officer says no. And okay, officer. Kaylee, I'm sorry. Bethany lived in that house, dude. She's telling you, I think there were two computers in there. And the officer's saying, no, there was one. Maybe there was two. Are we going to believe Bethany? Are we not going to believe Bethany? I mean, I have two computers in this room right here. I just moved my my PC from another room to have it in here, and then I have my laptop. My PC's that's still running like Windows 8. Oh my gosh, it's in the pics. Oh, there's two and we see them. Oh. Reading your comments. Miles LeFaber with Colby Pew 9 grub truck. All right. Thanks for your evidence and for sharing everything, Michelle. They could have been collaborating with two computers. Yep. A lot of people just do stuff on their phones too, though. Yeah. I if they did say feet pics, do we ever really hear that, or do they like blur it out? Who paid Ashlyn Couch's rent on her unoccupied room? Could it be Couch's friend, Emma Bailey? So Carl, in the book, it says that, I can't remember who says it, but there was a girl named Sophia Whitehead that was actually on the lease for that room. So you have to ask yourself, why were we misled about that? Why did Howard Bloom come out with a book where his source told him it was Ashlyn Couch? Why did Ashlyn Couch go on Dateline and whatever those specials were? Her and her mom, like, she was supposed to be there that night. She was supposed to be living in that room, but then that's not what the book says. That's not what the book says. I'm looking to see where I marked it. I know I have it marked. Sophia Whitehead, what do you guys think about that? Like, it's another narrative. They were sleeping all night. Frozen shock phase. Oh, here's a good quote from the book. I don't know if I've shared this. Listen to this. It's a quote from it's from Whitcomb, and he says, "Murder is a crime of familiarity. According to the FBI's 2019 Crime in the United States report of 13,927 people murdered that year, only 9.9% were killed by a stranger. 10%, about 10% of crimes are by strangers. A 1 in 10. You have a 1 in 10 chance that a crime would be committed by a stranger. But I'm going to be really mad if I don't find this. With all the tabs. Some of them I didn't write on, though. That's why I got to go back and write on every single tab. You just have to trust me, like Idaho. Just trust me. Just trust me that it's in there. And I'll come back with it tomorrow. All right. I'm winging it over here, you guys.
Okay, so that was Maddie's computer.
Plunder, true crime audio.
Okay. Who all had jobs?
Maddie, Kaylee, Sam.
Just those three?
Mhm.
I found it. I got to hear the end of this real quick.
Maddie, Kaylee, Sam.
Okay, so that was about the jobs. Here's what it says about Sophia Whitehead, okay? If you have the book, it's on page 308. It's on page 308 of the book. And this is when they are talking to McConkie. This is... Whoops. Kaylee McConkie. She was 25 years old. They interviewed her on November 18th. She graduated in May the year before. She was a Pi Phi. And she said Maddie was her best friend. So here's what she says. She said her friend Whitehead, Sophia Whitehead, it must have been said earlier, who was also on the FaceTime call with Maddie Sunday morning, actually paid rent on the vacant first floor bedroom down the hall from Bethany. And even though Boise is almost 300 miles south of Moscow, McConkie knew a great deal about events surrounding the crimes. So McConkey is also from Boise. She said after the crimes, she saw Mortensen and Funk in the days after the homicides, especially on Monday the 14th, when the two got back to Boise. I know there's another spot where they say Sophia Whitehead, though, because I got to get the first name from somewhere, right? Yeah. So why does the book say Sophia Whitehead? I'll come over and read your comments. Is Sophia Whitehead a real person? I have to find out. They put the last name Whitehead in the book. And then when I first read it, I asked on a live, and maybe I was just told the first name Sophia. Maybe I just believed what someone told me. Maybe we need to vet that out more. I don't know. Seeing if you get any comments about that. I definitely think that room was used for creating content, and I think that something happened in that room the night of the crimes because of everything we've looked at now with the broken bracelet. There's blood in the room. The bedding is gone. So I would like to see any old photos. I don't know if there are any. Have any of you ever seen any photos from before November 13th that were taken in that bedroom? Man, if they were making social media content in there, in that room, it would be really interesting to see those photos, to see what the bedding looked like. All right. Oh, here it is.
It was maybe like a week ago. I was in my room.
Okay.
So this is about Bethany being scared, and I think something about maybe that extra roommate. So let's listen.
It was maybe like a week ago. I was in my room.
Okay.
I don't know if I mentioned this too. Once, it was maybe like a week ago. I was in my room and I was getting ready for bed. It was early in the morning, like 1, maybe 2-ish. And I heard like a scream outside my window. And I got really scared, so I called like everyone in the house and no one answered because they were asleep. But I called one of my friends and she picked me up and I slept at her place.
Okay. You said it was around 1 o'clock?
Mm-hmm. I actually might have just called Maddie, but...
You said it was a week prior?
Yeah.
So a week prior would have been the weekend of Parents' Weekend. Kaylee's not there. It doesn't mean it was on the weekend. It could have been during the week. But Bethany either has a habit of leaving when she's scared, but then she didn't do that the night of the homicides. Or is she establishing, I do that. I do leave. I don't know. It's confusing. Was she there that night? Yeah, I know it can be heard. Bath mat for sure, though. Who drags around a nasty bath mat? Where's the bath mat, Kane? I had a shared bathroom when I had roommates. You would get robbed if you left anything in there. So we all slept around. baskets, but always a straight towel. Oh, like yeah, it depends how well you know your roommates. Like I was saying about like shared bathroom spaces, if that's what you guys were talking about. When I lived in a dorm, the roommates there didn't want us leaving stuff in there. So we did have one of those little caddies where you would just like bring your towel, bring your, toiletries in there with you. Because it was pretty like a public bathroom place, kind of just in your room, right? Then when I moved into an apartment, it's more like home, right? Like I am renting now a home. So it's like, oh, I can now leave my stuff in here, right? I can leave my stuff in the bathroom. I don't have to lug it around. This is my house. My bathroom stuff goes in the bathroom. That was my experience.
Okay. Who came and picked you up?
My friend.
Why can't we know the name of the friend that came to pick her up? That doesn't have anything to do with the crime. They're talking about something a week before.
The scream, did it sound like either a male or a female?
I don't know, but it was like, it didn't seem like it sounded like a scared scream, but.
So not like somebody partying and hollering.
Mm-hmm. Like it made me scared, but I don't know, maybe if someone was like scaring their friend, like, I don't know, like spooked them or something. But I sleep on the bottom all by myself, so I was like, I wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
And your window's probably the easiest to get to.
Yeah.
Because of where it's at.
Probably mine.
Okay. So I understand she's downstairs on the first floor by herself. She hears a scream. She said nobody answered, so maybe that's why. Because I was thinking, well, Kaylee's got like a giant bed upstairs. Like, go up in her room and sleep with her if you're scared. But I don't know. Maybe the 217 screaming girl also screamed at 1 a.m. outside Bethany's window. Right? They have a serial screamer in the neighborhood, you guys. There's a serial screamer around 2 a.m. in that neighborhood. I don't know. Played that one. Not moved out. Maddie and Kaylee's work. Okay. I think I'm going to end with this one. I only have a couple more, so
We're still trying to communicate with.
Yeah. I don't know if this is helpful or anything, but we did, like, Kaylee was, like, looking up just some stuff, like, registered, like, there's, like, registered sex offenders, and there's one that lived, like, right next door to us, kind of.
Do you remember that name?
I don't remember the name, but it was on,
So what do
it's
you
just,
mean
like,
right
public.
next door?
It's, like, right down the street.
So on Taylor?
Not on Taylor, on King, I believe.
So on King?
Or on King or Queen, one of those. Like, on the corner, kind of. And, like, those blue apartments, I don't know. I think I don't know, you can look it up. It will show up.
So if I turn onto King coming off the Taylor Street, you have the house on the right, big white apartment building. Then you have which I think is more of an off-campus frat house.
Do you know, like,
the other two houses around the corner, but then at the other bottom, just to your left as you come onto King, you have that little fourplex.
is she talking about this like 2-story light blue, super light house right there, that apartment? And the reason I wanted to play this clip, she does not say it on here, but again, let me know, is it in the book? I thought when the interviewer, somebody interviewing Bethany is talking about this sex offender living on this house, they said something about seeing the person like on a video camera or something. So I guess this is far enough down to be seen on the porch camera, the light bulb camera. But I was just like, did that house have a camera? Is there another camera? I don't know.
And then just behind it, there's a set of 2 different blue apartments. Is those the ones you're talking about?
Yeah, like those. I don't know exactly where over there, but it was like around that area.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Because it would be, if I walked up the steps coming off of Taylor and the Whites to go to your place, it'd be to your right?
Yes.
Okay.
Any of those. I don't know exactly where, but it just popped up on the thing. Yeah.
And then right now?
Mm-hmm.
Younger or older?
Older. Be like 30s or 40s. I don't know. That's older.
You're very old. You can say whatever you want. I'm getting your age and thinking people my age now are old. Now I'm this age, so it's all about where you're at in your life.
Could I ask a couple of questions on that? When was Katie looking up sex offenders?
Not too long ago. Probably like either a week ago maybe.
And did she tell you why she wanted to look these offenders up?
No. She always was kind of into like crime podcasts and stuff like that, and like those kind of shows. I think she just randomly looked it up.
So is she doing it kind of more for curiosity or fun?
Yeah, it was curiosity, I believe.
So she likes to watch crime shows?
Mm-hmm.
She watched them quite a bit?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. So there was nothing of I just had a weird interaction with some guy. I'm curious to see if he might be a sex offender or something.
We were all shocked to find out
That she did it?
No, that it was that close.
Oh. Another question though that brings up though. So I believe it was Kaylee had 2 different incidences that she's reported to other people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Winco and then the backyard thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about those?
I know that she told me the Winco thing. She noticed a guy following her around the store. And she kept like looking back, and he like still followed her. And she checked out with the stuff she was buying, and then he didn't buy anything. But
Thank you, Kay Schmidt. Appreciate that so much. Welcome, new members. New peeps in the house. Let me see who got that. Make sure you thank Kay Schmidt. Oh, wait. I got an arrow down here. I got to hit. Here we go. I see it can be heard. Leon Bimpson, Crafts and Crime, BBK Crime, and Just Listening. Welcome, new peeps. Thank you so much. So this clip right here that I'm playing is about the stalk. It was like, first it's about the sex offender, like Kaylee looking up the sex offender. I think it's curious that like Bill Thompson came out and was like, there was no stalking, right? Wasn't he saying there was no stalking? I think it's curious that there's a few things that Bill Thompson or Chief Fry came out and were like, definitely wasn't this, definitely wasn't that. And I'm like, you know how when people like protest too much, I don't know, because Kaylee's looking up a sex offender down the road. It's documented that someone was following her at Winco. They were following her around the store. They didn't buy anything at the store. She saw the man. The man went to her car. He tried to open her car door. And then there's the person a couple times. Once when she took Maddie, once when she took Murphy outside, she sees someone, or she thinks that someone's like in the tree line. And then there's another time where she was in the house and she says that she sees someone kind of like back behind the house. And I know Dago always says he thinks the perpetrators came from that way, from that direction, kind of like where the parking lot wraps around. She was in the house and she saw someone just standing out there looking at her through the window. So, I mean, that's like four instances, like 3 instances of encountering somebody. And then, you know, she's looking up sex offenders. But then you've got Bill Thompson saying there was no stalking. So they also said they were not gagged. They also said there was no SA. There's a couple other things. I'll have to let me know in the chat. What am I missing that they were like, absolutely, this did not happen? No, this did not happen. Was the sex offender really across the street, or was it just the owners of their rental? Oh, that's a good question. But I mean, that's true. They do have, the public has the right to know where a registered sex offender lives. So they will put it on blast, like who lives there and their address. Now, if the owner doesn't live in that apartment, then I don't think they're going to put the owner of the apartment. I think they're going to put who actually lives there. That's what I think. You don't think he tried to open her door? I think that's in the book. And I'll have to look at, I jotted that down to confirm or deny that. Like, where'd they get that from, right? Where did they get that from? Any report of weird stalkers since the murders? You know, I got to tell you guys, if you watch Evil CJ's show, way back, probably about 2 years ago, he always thought that it was somebody. I think he thought it was at the Queen Road. He thought that there was a stalker, like someone watching the house, I believe in the Whites, over at the Whites. And he had the exact apartment picked out, like perfect view where they could stand. I don't think it was Queen, although it might have been, but he was onto that like right away. Just seeing if I have the stalking thing tagged real quick. I don't think so. Let me see what this says. Maybe, did I finish this one? Maybe it will be in here if I finish it. Let's finish it. I think she says it in here.
Then continued to follow her out.
Okay.
And she went to her car and like quickly got in it and he was like standing right behind it, and Xana was in the car with her, sitting and waiting for her in the car.
Okay. Did she ever did she tell you the story herself, or did
Yes.
you hear it from someone else?
She told me.
Okay. Did she ever describe him to you? Like age,
I
height,
think she said
skin
he was
color?
African American.
Okay, so African American, and she in this interview she didn't say that he tried to open the door, but she said he was like right behind the door.
Did
Or
she
right
say
behind the
how old
car.
she thought he was?
Definitely on the older side, but not like
So back to your 30 to 40s?
maybe, or 20s, maybe like older
So like
20s.
late 20s,
Yeah.
30s?
How old is Demetrius? Wasn't he like in his mid-30s? I wouldn't protest anything in this heat. Just take it. Who's protesting? Kane, it was 90 degrees here yesterday. I was in heaven. Okay, Jesse Locks, drive safe. The Banfield incident, a diversion coinciding with the latter stages of the crime from 253 to 315, allowing the killers to escape the King Road property without police detection. Yeah, he does. Like, if you go back to his old lives from like a couple of years ago, I mean, and it was so crazy because I'm like, I mean, I didn't like agree or disagree, but I'm like, why? It was just like his gut instinct, I think. I don't know. It was crazy.
Did she say that, or that's what you're guessing?
I think that's what she said. I'm not positive.
Okay, so you're not positive on if she even talked about an age?
No.
Okay, and that's
I
fine.
think that's what she said, though. I don't know.
That's okay. Do you know when that was?
I can't exactly remember. I would guess like a month ago or something like that.
So prior to or after Halloween?
Prior to, I'd say.
So sometime maybe mid to late
Mid,
October?
yeah.
Okay.
I think.
I'm just trying to narrow it down. Because we might be able to still go back and pull video footage.
Okay.
Do you know if she bought something when she was there?
Yeah, she did.
Did she normally shop there? Did she normally shop there?
Yeah. Because one's the cheapest, so
Do
usually.
you know how much she bought?
I know she bought
she got?
case of White Claws. I don't know if she bought anything else, but
I'm going to ask it anyway. Is that fairly normal for her to go there to buy a case of White Claw?
yeah.
Okay.
How do you know she bought White Claw on that time?
Because she was getting it for Xana, I believe.
Okay, so she was there to buy it for her.
Would she pay with that for cash or a credit card? You know?
I think Winco only takes card at self-checkout, and I believe she.
All right, that's them just wanting to verify the purchase, asking about that, right? But she did not say in that interview that the guy went up to the door, but that he did go up to the car. So just curious that to me, it's a black man at that dumpster getting picked up at 5 something in the morning. And then here we have a black man following Kaylee around Winco. I mean, you want to call those coincidences? And then how many black men are in the fraternities? Who lives around them in that neighborhood? Anybody connected to that house? Those are questions I think that are good to ask. Like, who is it? A random person? Is it something from and maybe that's what Kaylee thought. Maybe she thought, you know, is this something from the online activity? That's why looking up like, you know, sex offenders in the area. One of Kaylee's friends mentioned Kaylee receiving some type of mail. Oh, yes. Digital or actual mail, I don't know. Parents had to sign something regarding Kaylee's mail. So I believe those are two separate things. So I believe a package went to Kaylee's parents' house that they had to sign and turn over. And that's all we've ever heard of that. But I think we heard that from the Gonsalveses. I don't know if I've seen that anywhere else. The letter, maybe I need to pull that back up again, is in a Moscow Police Department document. And a letter went to a sorority, and we are speculating that it's coming from an inmate at a jail because of the description of the letter. We were just speculating about that. But yeah, it was a weird letter that went to a sorority. And I don't know if they told us it actually went to Kaylee or not. So I have unanswered questions still about that, even though I've covered it in the past. And it came up. That's come up a couple times now. So we need to look at that again. We will look at that again. But I will tell you the weird things in the letter were John F. Kennedy playing cards. And I think that's why we thought it was like someone from jail, because there were playing cards. They made a bracelet out of paper. There was like a pinup magazine photo. So all the things that were in this letter were things that an inmate would be able to access. That's why. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I like how they ask Bethany why she called Dylan first, and she pauses like she was caught and then says, it's about the loud bang, which happened at 2:44 a.m., not around 4 a.m. Oh. And then Bethany goes and tells Dylan what she told these guys about why she called her first. And Dylan said exact same thing, and also says, I guess you talked to her. Wait, and then Bethany goes and tells Dylan what she told these guys about. Oh, so Bethany tells Dylan, here's what I told the cops. Yeah, and then they say, yeah, I guess they talked to her. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, this is my last. This is a good question about Bethany.
So we have also had, what you assume, people are talking, people are giving us all kinds of information. One thing that I picked up from one of the interviews I did was rumors of potential drug use with Ethan and Zena, especially when they drank.
I believe they took Adderall.
Was it Adderall?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's it, from my knowledge.
And how did you hear that?
Well,
Have you ever
that
witnessed
night
it?
I saw them take it, yeah.
So you saw them. How were they taking it?
Ethan, I think, just swallowed the pill, and I think Xana snorted it.
And where was that at?
In Xana's room.
Okay. That actually fits in what we've had.
Wait a minute.
Thank you. That's actually good for us.
Okay. So she just said, I saw Xana and Ethan take Adderall in Xana's room. But she said it was that night. Now, I went through the timeline of where Bethany says she sees Ethan and Xana. She saw them at noon to 4. Well, no, let's say this. From 12 to 2, they would have been at the house. So I'm trying to think, when was Bethany, Xana, and Ethan, according to my timeline that I got from the book, from reports, from their evidence, the official timeline, when would Bethany have been in the house with Ethan and Xana on this night to be able to see them do Adderall? And the only time that that could have happened was from noon to 2, because then they go to Kayla N's house. I don't think Ethan and Xana are together again until 9:30 at night. So at 9:30, there's no other time. There's no other time that Ethan and Xana and Bethany are back at the house together. Dun, dun, dun. Unless, because they're not telling us when Ethan and Xana got back to the house, you guys. I think this is, she should have been drilled on this more. What time did you see that happen around that time? Because she said at 9 p.m. she went to Peter's. Let me see Ethan's timeline here. Everybody's in the house napping from 6 to 8. I'll even give them 5 to 8 because they're like cooking, and then but not Ethan. Let me see. From 5 to 8, Ethan gets a text from Xana telling him that she's napping until 8 o'clock. So that implies he's not there. So that looks like he's not there. At 7:20 is when the Explorer leaves the house. So maybe we don't have any information from this official timeline. So I'm going to have to start looking for it to fill in this time period from 5 to 8. I think 5 to 8 p.m. is curious. There's a lot of gaps there. So that could also be the time she sees them doing this Adderall. But then that's it. Because it's got to be at the house. It's got to be at the house. He must have did it before he went to the Hunga Dunga dance. Before the Hunga Dunga dance.
I'm just trying to figure out different things that we found. So, did someone have a prescription for Adderall?
I don't know who they got it from, but no, neither of them did.
Okay.
Wait a minute. He's asking them where they got it. They didn't have a prescription. Where'd they get it from?
But no, neither of them did.
Okay.
What is he saying there? I need my headphones. What is she saying there?
Okay.
Oh, I missed it.
That's actually big for us. I'm just trying to figure out different things out. Did someone have a prescription for Adderall?
I don't know who they got it from, but no, neither of them did.
Okay.
I think she said neither of them did, because he said, did he have a prescription for Adderall? No, I don't think either of them did. And she doesn't know who they got it from. Okay. I know a lot of people say that like the Adderall is not part of like the drug selling on that campus, but I totally believe it is. It's like trying to get painkillers on the street. Like it's the same thing. It's buying the pills is just like getting other types of drugs. in my opinion. And that's so popular with college students. Hey, Beach Babe, you got drilled harder at 15 for drinking alcohol in the park. I know. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Did the police investigate the 11 unanswered calls Kaylee and Maddie made from 228 to 253 in relation to voicemail and text messages, potentially names of the killers mentioned? No, and I have to tell you, when I went through each of these timelines, especially Kaylee and Maddie, and looking at the rapid fire of phone calls, it's chilling. It's chilling to think, when would you do that? And I know there are people out there, family members, that have tried to explain it away, like, well, it's kind of like being bratty. Like, Kaylee will just call people over and over again when she wants something. That's not what it seemed like to me. That's not what it seemed like to me. Especially you've got Maddie doing it too. And then especially you've got Cooper Anderson doing it with Ethan. 5 FaceTime calls, like right in a row. There is very telling information in these timelines. I call it the skeleton. I've got the skeleton for each of these individuals now, and now it's time to go start filling in the holes, right? And comparing them side by side and seeing what we can find. The thing with the Adderall, if I have a prescription for it because I need it, I'm not going to be giving up very many of my pills. If I have a prescription for it because I like to use it sometimes, I'm not going to be giving up my pills. And even if I do, it's not going to be enough to sustain somebody else's habit. There has to be a street person you're getting it from. Who had the interview of the person? Where did I see this? I think I saved it from TikTok. Let me see if I have it. Let me see. Where did I save it at? I'm just going to look real quick because it was a person talking about being the street person for those types of drugs. It was very interesting. Let me look. Whoops. It's going through my headphones. Real quick. This will be something interesting too. Or I might have it saved on YouTube. Oh no, here it is. Oh, it's for she was talking about the Alex Murdaugh trial, but the kind of what did he take? Pills, right? Pills. And she was saying, she called herself the street pharmacist. Kim is not a doctor and she does not share her meds. You ain't getting my stash. Oh my God. Real drug people are not sharing. Let's be real. Right. You're selling it. I mean, you might, hey, especially if you want to get somebody hooked and then they become a customer, right? Let me see. Did I put this as a link? Did I put it as a link? Nope. I can do it real quick though. This lady was kind of interesting. Where's the link? Oh, copy the link. Okay. I got to share this with myself and then we'll be able to see it. She was talking about being the supplier for Alex Murdaugh, you guys. That's how I say his name. And she didn't talk about it until she moved out of state. Moved out of state. It's crazy. I'm not changing subjects. This goes with the pills.
All right, y'all wanted story time about Alec Murdaugh, my connection to him. Here you go. This is allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. So if you didn't know, my name's Christian. I served 2 years at Leith Correctional Facility in Greenwood, South Carolina from the years 2011 and 2012 for 54 counts of obtaining a controlled substance by fraud in violation of drug distribution law across 3 counties in upstate South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson, in which I was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Basically, all of that just to say I wrote a bunch of fake prescriptions. So I wrote the prescriptions for 30 milligram or 15 milligram roxycodones. That was really what was popular at the time and also what I was addicted to.
Whoops.
It's also what other people higher up were addicted to. So I apparently had a knack for these fake prescriptions. And while I was only convicted of 54 and charged with 54, over 450 fraudulent prescriptions were dropped or ran together. And if you've ever been, really far in addiction, most people know there's only very few ways to support your addiction. One of those ways is to become an unlicensed street pharmacist. So one of the things that you learn very early on in unlicensed street pharmacy school is that you don't shit where you sleep, okay? So I had some friends down in Georgetown, South Carolina, and they became the intermediary between myself and my patients.
Okay. So she's hilarious, or they are hilarious. I don't know what their pronouns are that they go by, but she calls herself an unlicensed street pharmacist. Oh my God. That's funny. She says you don't, what did she say? Shit where you sleep. That's what she said. So she's not going to go do business, I guess, where like whatever. So she had someone like a go-between person, right? A go-between person. This is just think of what these kids would be doing. Whoever, it might be college kids. It might not be college kids. It might be townies. We call them townies, people who live in a college town. Are they who's the unlicensed street pharmacist? Okay. Somebody is because these kids were getting pills and other things. Okay. I care about pronouns. I do.
But every once in a while, my really whiny patients would want to see me and work out a deal because they were broke, but they were expecting money. It's South Carolina. It's a small state. Back then, I was one of the only people that could obtain the kind of pharmaceuticals that certain people were searching for. So yeah, this went on until 2011 when I finally turned myself in after I had ran from drug court because originally I got sentenced to drug court and then ran from drug court, was on the run from drug court. And that's when I went to actually stay in Georgetown. And so for a little over 2 months, I lived in Georgia.
So I'm going to interrupt this message just to, you can have your opinion on this channel. I am accepting and promote acceptance and things like that. So not going to call anybody delusional. I'm going to let people be people and do things, respect their, what they like to be called. Just like, what's it, Andy? Bottom teeth Andy. That's the name you would like to be called by. I would call you by that. If you would prefer to be called Andrew, I would call you Andrew. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Georgetown, Hampton, that area, pursuing my dreams of being an unlicensed street pharmacist. I probably wouldn't be here if I hadn't got caught, if I hadn't gone to prison, if I hadn't moved out of state. But I never in a million years imagined that something like this would happen. But at the same time, not surprised. None of us were surprised when the conviction got overturned. We know how it works in South Carolina. And unless you've been through the criminal justice system in South Carolina, you truly don't know just how corrupt it is. In South Carolina, there's one law school, and pretty much every judge and lawyer in South Carolina went to the same law school, USC. But the connections don't quite stop there. If you don't know, I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather, his name was Don Owens, and my grandfather was my everything, and I was his everything. My grandfather was a graphic designer and an illustrator, and my grandfather's best friend was Kendall Few. Kendall Few was a big-time trial lawyer in Greenville, South Carolina, and in 1993, Kendall Few decided to write a book called Trial by Jury. And my grandfather was the graphic designer and the illustrator for Trial by Jury. So Kendall Few had a son. Anybody want to guess what his son's name was? John Few. Kendall would throw these amazing parties at his estate. He had hundreds of acres on Brushy Creek Road in Greer. Beautiful, beautiful house. And these parties were just like political hotspots. I actually first met Lindsey Graham and Strom Thurmond when I was 11 years old at one of Kendall Few's parties. I actually called Lindsey Graham a weirdo, ran away, and then I got in trouble. But I was incredibly close with John Few. John Few would get out there. He loved to play basketball, and he was pretty good at it. And I was a basketball player. And he would get out there and he would play basketball with me. And Kendall would do these basketball tournaments at his parties where he'd give away trophies. And John would always give me a trophy for playing, and I'd always be on John's team. I was so close to John Few that I called him Uncle John, and John was going to pay for my entire law school if I decided to go to law school. Because at one point I said I wanted to be a lawyer when I was like 12 years old. And he absolutely said he was going to pay for my law school. And he would have if I had gone to law school. But instead I went to prison. Anyway, John Few became a judge in Greenville County. And then he went on to the South Carolina Supreme Court. And he is, in fact, one of the 5 Supreme Court justices that overturned Alec Murdaugh's conviction. Anyway, I will be going live again.
Do you guys see how this works? So I've seen a few people on TikTok that have come out to spill some tea about how it goes down in it's Greenville, right? They're the connections, the good old boy network, the corruption, it goes decades and decades deep. So I liked their information about how she called herself a unlicensed street pharmacist. So, and I see your guys' comments about this. So Mountain Man, so you would think the person that they were getting like the Adderall and other things from would be someone who did not go to college for whatever reason, but knows people that do go there. So I know other people are going to put responses to you, and I think you're all right, like partially. So I think there are people like this that you're describing involved. Hey, Amy Conway. Jesse Locke says there's usually someone that knows the town or area really good and knows where police are and not, that distribute, they know their way around. Yes. This is kind of like the middlemen people that she's talking about. Like, I think she was like she got the supply, and then she had middle people who were like delivered, sold for her. And then Kane, I think you had a different opinion. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Pretty sure I have over 20 articles of frats provide. Yes. So I agree with you too, Kane. I think the frats can sell, right? Because you have to have the people that have, your sellers are going to be the ones who have the hookups, who have the connections, who have the demand, like who wants it, right? And based on watching that, was it Conrad? No, who was that video from Washington from the kid who overdosed? Can't remember the name. But when we watched that body cam video in, was it Seattle, of the kid who overdosed, the one who went to the hospital and then got released and at his friend's house, and the friend was getting interrogated, and the friend said, the friend whose house has all these drugs in it, all the paraphernalia, clearly they are users. And he's like, those kids in that house at 1122, those were my friends. Got very defensive of them. So they always say, show me who your friends are. Like, you're going to hang around similar people that do similar things, right? You can be super nice. WSU Kim said Demetrius was a nice kid. Yeah, he was an athlete. That doesn't mean you don't get involved in things. Yep. Oh, I didn't hear that I didn't hear about that. Xana was upset the week before when her dad came over. I remember hearing about that. I thought they thought that was the night of. Maybe it got clarified. Yep. Are you talking about pressing them? I don't know. All right, you guys. So yesterday I went over Bethany's timeline. Today I showed clips that had important information in them. I thought some of the information that was important in the clips I showed were Kaylee was not moved out. Bethany clearly said that Kaylee only went home for the weekend before. There was that. There was information about the stalker. And I talked about how, Bill Thompson's like, there was no stalker, but then we've got 4 confirmed instances of stalking. So that's weird. And the stalking could be, especially if it was only recent, like within a month or two, maybe it's not like a stalker. Maybe it is someone if we think it's related to drugs, someone that's like upset and following the habits because they're planning something. Could be that. That's what I think. And there was some other information in there. Oh, about she saw Xana and Ethan do the Adderall. But then we get no more details. Where were you? Well, no, we did get where. She said in their room, in Xana's room. Okay, so now we got to find the time that Xana, Ethan, and Bethany are at the house at the same time so that she would be able to see them. And I'm asking that because we don't know what time Xana and Ethan got home. I'll have to look you up when I get back home. Promise. Oh, Jesse. Yes, Jesse Kane, drop your link. We support each other around here, you guys. Go check out Kane B's The Purge. Thank you for joining me today. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow, but things that have been on my mind are, actually, some things you got me today. Got me thinking about today. The Alexa being used to solve another crime. That's interesting. The EWU. I do want to show you information more about EWU media and what this lawsuit is actually going to affect and what they have actually done in the past. So I think I might come back with that tomorrow, but Thank you for joining me today, you guys. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate you. I certainly hope I didn't miss anybody with that. I have been checking carefully after I missed the unique peeps. What did we get? New 6 peeps today. That's awesome. Love to see the green members in here. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. And I'm sure I'll see you in the chats. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep, we crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep, we crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep, we crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.